to us. So welcome to Mary Wieden You. Lovely day, I hope, today, and it's supposed to cool down by next week, so today we'll just take the heat. Listen, we got a fun show today. I have a dog trainer. Yay! Juan Velarde. He is practicing here in the Jackson area, and to help him, who's with us, if there's any language problem, is Langston Moore. Langston Moore, and y'all know who he is. He's one of those people who does a lot of stuff. And I just found out this morning that you used to work for Fordyce, but you weren't there at the time of the very famous interview. Let me tell you something. I was married to Bert Case, but I didn't know he was working on that story. I mean, it was really a tight thing. It was not talked about freely in any sort of a way. So when it aired, I'm like, he said I should watch the news because there's really something exciting on the air, different and all that kind of stuff. And absolutely shocked, like, what? I didn't know about it either. So
interesting times.
Yes, it was. And nothing was. Oh, and by the way, I have a little sports note for you, Lance. And by the way, so tonight we hope that that our new partners in broadcasting, Academy, Heartfelt Academy, we hope they win tonight. Don't know who they're playing, but we hope they win because they're on our air now on Friday nights. And then, but on my way in today, I was hearing some discussion about sports. And I know the name Jackson Dart. He was the Ole Miss quarterback. Mm-hmm. They say he's not going to get much play this year at all because Russell Wilson is doing so well, and he doesn't want to step aside. Why should he? He doesn't. He's on a roll and he wants to stay on a roll. So Jackson Dart's time will come. So anyway.
It will. He had a great preseason. He'll probably get in a little bit. And, barring injury, you hope he has a year to learn. Yeah. And to answer the question of who Heartfelt plays tonight, it will be another epic football game. They had Columbia last week, lost in a tight one. It was a mess at the end. Oh. And now they have MRA, who had gone up to Tennessee a couple weeks ago, played one of the best public schools in Tennessee, Ravenwood, and got into a shootout with them. So this game ought to be pretty good. So if you're interested in a heck of a game, and two pros that call it, our guys JT Mitchell and Michael Burke, they will be on the call tonight. That game's 7 o'clock, and we'll have the High School Football Scoreboard Show brought to you by Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Company at 10 o'clock. So, ready to go?
Big night. Okay, so now let's do dogs. As we all are dog owners around here anyway. And so I had this opportunity because Langston said, would you like to do a dog trainer? Yes, I'd love to do a dog trainer because a trained dog is a good dog. Yeah. Either a tired dog is a good dog or a trained dog. Both of them, I guess you'd have to say. So Juan Velarde has his own business in this area. Where's your business? Is it in, Richland?
Florence.
Oh, it's in Florence. Oh, okay. Okay. So it's in Florence. And how long have you been in business?
About 9 months.
But you have been in the dog business for most of your life, right?
About 18 years.
Yeah, I guess that qualifies, makes you a pretty good trainer.
He's only 19 years old, so it's a whole life there.
Yeah, really. He worked for Randy Hare. Randy is no longer, you said he's moved out of this Jackson area, but he was on State Street for a long time. And he used as a training video Bert Case's thing where Bert was going around trying to get her the dog thing. It's on YouTube.
That's one of the best videos you'll ever watch.
Well, yes, where Bert's trying to fight off the pit bull. That was pretty fun. And Randy Hare said that was a thing to do. I was shocked by that. I would have been like, no.
Right.
Bert took charge of that, and he had like a magazine or a paper with him. You get away.
It's a reporter's.
That's what it was.
It's a reporter's notebook with a little spiral thing. It's about that 4 or 5 inches wide with a little spiral thing at the top. And he actually touched the dog's nose. He nicked him a little bit with the thing. And I think that's the thing that got him. But, anyway. So, but we don't do that kind of training. But Randy thought it was good. So, the thing I want to know about dogs, first of all, do you think that dogs are extremely bright and that we don't know everything, that we don't know how smart they are, do we?
That's right. We never know how smart they are until we work with them, but most of them, they are smarter than us.
Yes, they are. If they were to take over the world. By the way, let me tell the audience, if you'd like to ask questions and make comments, we're at 888-808-8637. You can text us at 601-879-4395. That's 601-879-4395. And you can watch us at supertalk.fm/Mary. We will be live streaming, if we're not right now, it'll be just in a few minutes here, for Lance to get it kicked up.
No, it's working. It may be a
is?
delay on our end, but yeah, we're streaming.
We're up already. And we will later on. We'll be on YouTube. The show will be offloaded onto YouTube. Commercials taken out, but we talked about this the other day. YouTube puts their own commercials in there, so you don't ever know when they're going to come, but you'll be able to see it on YouTube. So we like that. So lots of ways to get in touch with us. What's a good way to study a puppy if you're going to get a puppy or a dog? What's a good way to find out if that's the dog for you? You may say, well, I want a brown dog or a black dog or a tan dog or whatever. But how do you find out, how do you study a dog to know if it's the one for you?
Well, you got to look at the breed you actually want first. If it's not especially the one you want, the one you see at the first and fall in love with, and go from there.
Well, does the dog pick you, or does the dog pick us, or do we pick the dog? I mean, it's mutual, probably, but
I think it's mutual when the dog pick you, and you also say, "I like this dog, and I want to take it with me."
And so, how do you know? How do you know if the dog is choosing you? I mean, if it jumps on you, it's a pretty good clue there. But I mean, how do you know? Like, oh, okay, Snoopy, you look like a cute little dog. I guess I'll take you. How do you know Snoopy's like, yeah, why don't you? I don't know. Well, you just, it's just, it's a thing.
So, I think an interesting story to that is Lisa, my wife, and I went down to Hattiesburg to get a puppy. And we were halfway there, and they called and said the puppy was adopted by the foster family. We're like, oh, no. Do you have any more males? Because we knew what we wanted. We wanted a male, first of all.
And did you have a breed? Were you breed specific?
We were going after a German Shepherd. And so we went, and they had another male, which is Chesney, our dog now. And I think Chesney fell in love with us, and we fell in love with him, like almost love at first sight. And we had to leave him for 2 days for him to get chipped and other work done, and but I think it's almost I love you, you love me, take me in.
Instantaneous.
Yeah,
huh?
I think so.
Well, when I got this little, and I have not talked about it much on the air because everybody knows that I was very well bounded to my German or to my Springer. I mean, to my all my dogs. What were my dogs? Anyway, my Heidi, who died 6 weeks. Well, no, it'll be 2 months tomorrow, as a matter of fact. And I always got a grief dog. And so this girl that I have came from a rescue, and I took her a walk around the place, and I had to go get in my car to get a bottle of water. She jumped in my car, sat right down, and curled up actually in my driver's seat, like, whoa, And so this was less than a week after I lost my Heidi, which was okay. And so I thought about it for overnight, and I called him the next morning. I said, yes, I'll take this dog. I guess she picked me, but I don't know if she picked me because of me or she picked me because she wanted to get the heck out of the rescue. I don't know. But anyway, she's a good little dog. And, she needs work. I have to work with her. She needs some things.
Yeah.
She does funny things. But we're not talking about my dog. So what's the hardest thing you teach people, or where do you start teaching, okay, dog, this is what you got to do? What's step one when you get a dog?
Well, first off, I take him in, and then I let it 1 or 2 days to get used to me around, and after that I start training.
What do you start training with? What is it, words or hand commands, or both?
I do the word command first, the behavior first, sorry. And then I add the command to it when I got the behavior that I want.
And what's the first thing you want? Is it come or sit?
Well, I usually start with the heel position.
Oh, you do.
And then I go on from there and go to the next commands.
Well, so when you teach the heel, obviously the dog is next to you, and
Correct.
You probably have a pretty tight grip on it because otherwise, they go all over the place. So how many few steps you take before the dog catches on, or is it individual, or how is it?
When I do it the first time, I think it's done. You just got to repetitions.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Right.
And I understand from just seeing people.
You just got to reinforce it.
You have to reinforce. Oh, that's absolutely
right.
And by the way, you take them in instead of having the dog spending time with you and then going home. Could be confusing for the dog. Is that it?
Well, it could be, but I think they know when they on my place, they behave good, and they're supposed to behave.
Yes.
And they go home behaving the same way.
And so, also, we know that you have to train the owners. I mean, owners could be, I'm sure, most owners want to be good to their dogs, but most owners kind of get a little, shall we say, lazy about things, or slip them food, or don't make them do what they're supposed to do.
Well,
like
some people just not want to do what they're supposed to do. That's correct.
Yeah, I think too. I think that's one of the most important steps is after you get the puppy back from one, it's up to the owner to keep reinforcing what he did, or you did no good.
Yeah, exactly.
And we work Chesney pretty much every day. I think since we've had him back, we've missed 2 days.
Wow. And you do have to work with them every day, don't you?
That's correct.
Some dogs, like the Jack Russells, it's a lifelong training. I mean, that's just the way they are, because they're going to challenge you every day what you do. And so I'm adjusting to a dog that's not a Jack Russell. You know, like, is there something wrong with her? She sleeps a lot. She's quiet. You know, I can walk past her and she doesn't go, oh, what are we going to do now? And she doesn't do that. Like, was something wrong with her? Yeah. What you got, Lance?
Mr. Juan, I wanted to ask you, do you see more problematic owners or problematic dogs?
Actually, the owners.
Exactly. Because they don't pay attention, right? Or they just want. Is it that they want to spoil dogs? I'm not quite too sure.
Sometimes they're too spoiled.
You can't do that. Well, so when these puppies come to you, though, they're not housebroken. So how does that work out? Do you do the housebreaking too, or not?
Well, we do working with them as hard as housebroken while they are with us. But we continue doing it because it's a process. You know, you cannot teach a 4-week puppy to not go to the bathroom in the kennels. It's too soon for them, and still a puppy. Mm-hmm.
How many dogs do you work with at one time? I mean, not obviously them all together, but I mean, how many students do you have? I guess I'd have to say student dogs do you have?
Right now?
Yeah.
3.
Okay. So each day is, these 3, they do so much training, and then you might go into the next dog. Is that how that works? You might work with one dog for a while, and then the next, for a couple hours maybe, then you work with another dog and so on. Do you rotate them around?
I rotate them, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I work them in the same hour, the same time.
And he does distraction training?
What's that?
More dogs involved in
That's what
training.
my question was going to be. Do you train with multiple dogs with distractions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the biggest asset to, when that you have in your toolbox, so to speak, when you're dealing with 2 or 3 dogs and you're trying to keep them from being distracted? What's the easiest way or the best way to you don't put up a cinder block wall, obviously. So what are we doing here to keep those focus?
Yeah.
Well, before I get to that point, I got to train them first. Because I train them individually first before I can trust them and I know they're not going to get involved with the others.
So if you have 3 dogs out,
right,
and you're working with one named Joe, right. So you say, Joe, come, or whatever. So Joe has to know. Joe, they all got to be paying attention, but when Joe hears his name, he's got to come. Is that how that? I've never heard of this before.
Well, like I say, I work them one at a time.
Yeah.
Before I can put a group together, I work it individually.
Right.
So no accidents or anything like that.
So when they're together, you can single out one. You could single out Chesney. You could say, Chesney.
Come.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see. Chesney is a 4-month-old at the time, be in the same room, not as big as a studio almost, with 2 full-grown German Shepherds, and he's just sitting on the floor as calm as he can be. And so are the other 2 dogs.
Whoa.
We're like, this is amazing.
How's that possible?
Yeah, it's amazing.
How do you do that? You just train them, right? To sit and wait.
It's not just me, it's the dog.
But you had to tell him, you had to say the words, then you had to probably place him, in the sit position and tell him, wait. Is that what you do? Is that how that works? I don't know.
Well, the command for that will be stay.
Oh, okay. Stay, and then so they stay and watch.
Right.
We did have a dog in here a few weeks ago, but it's completely different. We had the new
Zeus.
Yeah, Zeus, the new canine dog for the city of Byram. Well, that's another whole thing. Mm-hmm. Huge
Belgian Shepherd.
Yeah,
right?
Belgian Shepherd. Never heard of those before. They're in the top 10 of police dogs. Belgian Shepherds. Kind of looks like a Malinois. That's, by the way, one of the other dogs that my dog gets to play with at the dog park. I love that she gets to do that. But anyway, it's such good socialization for dogs, and people need to understand if you can socialize your dog. I never knew that was important until I had a dog who was Daisy, and people would, if you remember way back in your memory, I had Daisy long ago, but she wasn't socialized, and so she couldn't go camping or anything. She couldn't be with other dogs. The Jack Russells were socialized though naturally, and this dog that I have is very socialized, because I think, well, that's her nature, and I think because she lived in a shelter. That can be a good thing. Living in a shelter, you're used to all kinds of dogs and stuff like that. But the canine training, oh my gosh, Juan, that dog and that police officer, I mean, they were like this, bonded for life. That's another whole business. Have you ever seen any of that, Langston? Either of you ever seen that? Where they just, they're right together in lockstep. If the trainer wants to go on vacation, the dog goes. Trainer wants to go out for dinner, the dog goes. Wherever the guy goes, the dog goes. Forever.
We had an issue with an older dog, a previous dog, where he had separation anxiety from my wife, not necessarily from me, but from my wife. And we were on a trip, and we almost had to cut it short because he was sick, he wouldn't eat, he was dehydrated. So dogs, as Juan said, they're just really smart.
Yeah.
I mean, they're human-like.
I'll tell you a quick story. Langston, my German short-haired, he must have seen a preseason football game on the TV 3 weeks ago. So he goes out to a pile of toys where his Nerf football has been buried for 9 months since football season. He fishes it out, brings it to me, and he's been catching touchdowns for 3 weeks. That's all he wants to do now.
Bizarre.
That's it. He just wants to catch touchdowns now.
Well, my little Cece dog, had her first hunt this week, by the way. I will say that. She's a terrier mix. There's been something by my next door neighbor's property line, something underground, and she's going over there. Well, yesterday morning, wing, it popped right out. It was a mouse. It popped out.
Yeah.
And it just, went across the fence and everything. She couldn't see it, but like, hooray for her. She had her first, and we got to come to a break. Okay, we'll come to a break. So we've got Juan Velarde in here in the studio. Questions or comments about dogs? Come on, let's hear from you. And Langston is here. Langston's here. Langston Moore is here to, help with language and have your own experience too as a customer as well. All right, so we'll be right back in a few minutes. Who's that? Well, I'm sure that's a famous song. Obviously, who is that?
That is a guy named Sturgill Simpson. It's a album called Dude and Juanita, and there's some great songs on it, but that one's called Sam. If you're ever looking for it, the Ballad of Dude and Juanita, Sturgill Simpson, that's Sam. And it's an amazing song.
Okay, sounds good. I was looking for Who Let the Dogs Out, but, that can come along. It's Mary Wieden You. I have in the studio a wonderful dog trainer named Juan Velarde. Is in business in Florence. And with him is Langston Moore, who has been a client of his, and he takes dogs in to train them. And so, do you train dogs to get rid of bad things, as well as dogs from the beginning? Like we were talking with somebody who we work with, the dog wants to get up on the table all the time. So stuff like that. Do you break them of things like that?
Yes, I think it's trainable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
taking off of it.
They understand his command of no. They know what that means.
That's the biggest, yeah. You got to be a little bit closer to your microphone, Juan.
Okay.
There you go. That's like the biggest thing is the word no. Do you agree with that? Like that's the first thing to know. No. You have to be firm, too.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm glad you used the word no because, but they need to know other things, but that's a really good one. By the way, 888-808-8637 is our phone number, 601-879-4395. That's our text line if you have any questions. And then we are live streaming, supertalk.fm/Mary. So, by the way, I learned, I thought that my dog, the Jack Russell, who recently passed away, she would get up on the table all of a sudden. And Bert said, well, there's a dog upriver who does that, so that's where she learned it. Lifelong thing. If I didn't push my chair in, she'd be up on the table. Well, as it turns out, that's a Jack Russell thing. That's just something that they do. And I've seen stuff all over on the internet, especially on Instagram. There's all kinds of. I have Jack Russells, I have horses and ice skaters. So where to watch a lot of, but the Jack Russells, that's a thing. So if you have a Jack Russell, folks, and your Jack Russell gets up on the table, have you ever noticed that? I don't know. Have you ever had a Jack Russell to train?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Was it? easier to train the Jack Russell than, say, a Border Collie?
Well, it's a little harder to do it, but...
Why do you think that is?
Because Jack Russells like to do whatever they want.
and you should understand, this is true, you should understand that having a Jack Russell is lifelong training.
Right.
Because they're going to challenge you, I mean, I'm a prime example of 2 dogs, 27 years of Jack Russells all the time. That's how they are. But they're good dogs. You just got to watch that. Is there any breed that you found to be the easiest to train?
Well, Golden Doodles.
Oh, really?
And Golden Retrievers. Mm-hmm. They're kind of easy to train. They're very smart dogs. And I love all the breeds, but it's kind of my favorites.
I think it's hardest to train are the humans.
Yes, really. Well, we are. Yeah, because do people ever say, no, I don't want to say that to my dog, or I don't want to tell my dog no? Or do they do like that, or do they realize, hey, I'm spending this is my money, and this is my dog, and I will do what you say because you know? Or do they fight you on it? Sometimes the people say, Or
what was the question again?
Well, training the people, is it hard to train the people? Do they kind of fight you on it?
Well,
they act like Jack Russells.
Well, sometimes they just don't want to do what you tell them to do, and that's when everything falls apart.
Yeah.
And I always believe that if you listen and do what it's been shown to do and do it right, you will listen to you.
Yep.
Okay, can I ask you about one of the things that a dog will do? Lance, you got a question?
Oh, in tandem with that, is there an amount of time on an each day basis or twice or 3 times a day that you recommend as they have become trained by you or a trainer, how to continue reinforcing that great behavior that you have created?
Well, the way I do myself, I work in for about 2 times a day, 10 minutes each time, and when they take it back home, I just want them to continue with that routine and only take you about 5 minutes.
And you can do it.
And you can do that on a daily basis.
And what I can speak into that too is once Juan trained us, what we do is we get Chesney on his leash to go for a walk, but we work him first. And we work him in our carport. Really? Lisa, my wife, takes a turn for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, just on the simple commands, and then I take over. And of course, we give him treats while he's working. And we've missed 2 to 3 days, I think, since we've had him back. And we can tell when we haven't worked him and we go on a walk, his discipline is totally different.
Well, what do you do with him when you work him? You say you work him. What do you do with him?
Just the simple commands
sit,
that Juan called him: to sit, heel, stay, down, off the leash, place.
So it's an attention getter,
right?
And a reinforcement. And then you can take him out or her, and then hopefully they're following the rules. And the owner has also been kind of warmed up to giving commands.
Correct. And I don't think I told Juan, but Juan has these places. Their place. That's where they go, like a stool, if you will. Uh-huh. And Chesney's place right now is ice chest. But he knows that's his place. That's his place. He's working. That's his place.
Oh, that's good.
It works.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. I like that. So I got to ask you, simple things like, I don't think it's so simple, but how do you train a dog not to jump? I mean, a lifelong with the Jack Russells, they say, stop jumping. Lifelong, stop jumping. You know, now I have one that's not a Jack Russell who wants to jump. And I will just tell you that my father was a very good dog trainer, and his thing was, but we had the bigger dogs. His thing was, when the dog jumps, you take a hold of the dog's paws. Oh, aren't you nice? But gently putting your feet on the dog's hind legs. You don't, scrunch down on, but it's a little uncomfortable. Like the dog will pull away and want to know why you're doing that. Well, that's what to get the dog to not jump. I thought that was pretty good, but I don't know if that's.
Well, what I do is I put the leash on his collar, I step on the leash myself, and he jumps. He corrects himself.
He corrects himself.
Right, yeah. And he starts jumping, and then at the moment you can give him a treat. And reinforce it with it. Okay.
So I did that. I tried that with some people that came over to my house recently, a bunch of them, and I said, I'm going to use this as a training situation. And so I took the dog outdoors, and they were standing around, and I did do that with their leash. I stepped on it.
Right.
Okay, so but when I come home, you know how they are. Oh, you're home. You doesn't have a leash on. What do you do there?
Well, when you make this daily thing going, what I call a routine, it become a habit, and eventually you stop that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
It takes time, though.
Yep. Pray that happens. That's really annoying, and I'm guilty of having an annoying dog from time to time. And also, things that dogs will do is lick. Licking is okay. A couple of little smacks, that's okay. But to constantly keep it up. Now, is there a cure for that besides touching their tongue when they lick you? Pull on the tongue.
When I train him, I correct him for that, and that stops that.
How do you correct him? What do you say?
Well, like I said, I put a leash on his...
For licking?
Yes.
Really?
I mean, if you don't like it, you got to correct him for it.
Oh, okay.
Whatever, any undesirable behavior that you don't want, it should be corrected for.
And the other thing that he told us that we haven't done yet.
Okay. Oh dear.
he said get a leash, like an inexpensive leash, and cut it, so they won't get caught in their kennel. Like Chesney's in a kennel right now, and when we go to get him, automatically grab that leash, so he doesn't jump.
Oh,
or
okay.
Either if he's on a leash, step on the leash.
Yeah, step on the leash thing would be.
And he's doing so much better at not jumping. He's getting there.
But you also use the words no jumping.
No, just no.
No.
Just no. Just
no.
Good old no.
No.
that seems to work.
And I do want to say something real quick. We haven't even talked about this, but the name of his business is Pawsitive.
Pawsiti.
Pawsitive Dog Training. And his website is pawsitivedogtraining.info.
By Juan Velarde. Yeah.
And did you help him with that? It's a nice website. It's a nice website. If you look at my Twitter X page, your picture's on there holding a couple dogs.
Yeah.
It's in a circle. There's some nice circle things of dogs. So I thought, did you do that yourself?
The picture?
Yes. Well, and the making of the website, or is that another?
My wife did.
Oh, that's pretty good. Does she help you with training at all?
No, she don't. She only helped me with the computer part.
Okay. Do you have any kind of differences between males and females, or does it depend on breed?
No, I don't see any difference. It's just the breed and what they've been through in the past and all that.
Yeah. See, I don't know what my dog's been through. I mean, just know she's a little over a year. I don't know. I have no idea. I just think that she didn't have a whole lot of fun. I try to have fun for her, but I don't know. I mean, she was not abused or anything like that, but she's a rescue, which is good. And housebroken, very good. She was what I was looking for, really. I want to think about if I couldn't find another Jack, it was going to be either a Jack or a mixed breed that's a little bit older and housebroken. Yes, I don't have to train for that.
Have you, Juan, experienced with rescues when people bring them? Are they more receptive out of the gate than, say, a dog that may not be a rescue? It seems to me, from my experience with rescues, they're very sensitive and intuitive to that you're giving them a home. I didn't know if maybe training them is easier or more difficult.
Good question, too.
Well, actually, I see it about the same.
Really?
Yeah. I think, like I said before, you never know what a dog from a rescue place even through. But sometimes they can come out bad.
You hope that the dog wasn't abused,
right?
And tends to abuse back. That's the thing.
Sometimes they come scared and all that kind of stuff.
And
I think rescuing dogs from a reputable place is really important. We went to a place and we pretty much immediately turned around and we went down to Hattiesburg to get Chesney.
Yeah. How'd you find out about Hattiesburg place?
I don't really know. My wife, I think she just Googled. I can't remember, but it's Southern Pines is the name of it, and it's the most beautiful facility I've ever seen.
And he was just a little puppy who didn't know anything, a little 2-month-old.
Yeah.
Was he 2 months old?
He was 3 months old.
Yeah.
Like I say, he was 1 for 1. So
okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, you got him at the right time too, didn't
That's
you?
correct.
You know what I mean?
He did.
Really.
He hadn't learned anything bad yet.
Which is good.
Yeah.
And you have been good dog owners.
I think we have. I mean, we reinforce what Juan has done, and I think Chesney enjoys it. And I've told Juan, and I tell people all the time, it's the best thing I've ever done for a pet, and for me, and for Lisa, for us to be so happy.
Here's this music I love. This will take us out to this. We got one more segment to come up after this. Yeah. I don't think I heard that version of it. That's a good one. I remember when it first came out.
That's official.
Well, when it first came out, I thought it was strictly written from Mississippi State.
I think everybody did at the beginning.
Oh, we did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they embraced it, too, as they should have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope they're doing well this year. They won last weekend. No?
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah. They did, yeah.
Well, I watched part of the Ole Miss game, and it was such a bloodbath. Like, okay, fine, I can go off and rest assured that the evening will not be spoiled because they're going to win big time. I don't even know who they played.
Mississippi State has a big game this weekend. Arizona State, top 15 opponent, isn't this a return series? I believe, where they played them in last year.
Arizona?
And Arizona State, the Sun Devils. Ooh. But it will be a big – I think it's sold out. I may be wrong, but this is one of those games that Mississippi State fans are extremely excited. First home game of the season. And
I don't know if excited is the word.
I got blessed out the other day. I said, State looked much cleaner to me. They're like, Lance, they had 14 penalties. I said, look, I watched the last 2 seasons.
5 on one drive.
But, again, I thought as a whole the team looked a lot better. I mean, to me, that was me. I know they had a bunch of penalties, but I thought State looked much improved. And,
And what about Ole Miss? Who do they play?
Ole Miss is on the road against Kentucky up there in the Bluegrass.
Oh, okay.
So that Kentucky's one of those teams that always gives Ole Miss trouble. And there's a few of those. Arkansas, Kentucky, and South Carolina always seem to monkey wrenches.
Usually the first few games are like playing high schools, and so they can be like, oh boy, we're 5-0 to go because
the 9-game SEC schedule next year, I believe. So even you'll have one more of these non-conference games that will be thrown away, and so a lot more marquee matchups.
Well, we're going to talk about more dogs. We got our final segment already. It goes by really fast.
Mississippi State is the dog, so I do.
Yeah, I know. That's cool. I'm glad you did that. So Juan Velarde is here. He is the trainer, and that's all you care about is dogs, isn't it? I mean, that is your whole life, isn't it? Really?
That's correct, ma'am.
How many dogs do you own of your own?
Actually, we have one.
Oh, what kind?
It's a pit bull mix, but yeah.
I've learned a lot from a show also on Animal Planet called Pit Bulls and Parolees. Yeah. They are truly a misunderstood breed, aren't they? I mean, most of them are good dogs. They started off as nanny dogs in I guess a couple hundred years ago in England, I guess it was. And some bad people came along and started to fight them, but they really are good dogs, aren't they?
They're very good.
How would you get one? How do you know that you're getting a good one? That's the thing that you have to find out. But they are good and loyal, smart, affectionate dogs. You don't need to be afraid of them. But people who tie them up to chains.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's the disgusting thing.
Goes back to the owner.
Absolutely, it does go back to the owners. Have you ever had any dogs that you've had to call people up and say, I can't work with your dog?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Oh, lucky. Well, good. If you haven't, that's good. Because that was the deal with our German short-haired pointer in Germany. My dad wanted her trained in the German hunt and all this kind of stuff. And we only had her for a few months. And they called him up and they said, sir, we can't do anything with your dog. She won't do anything. My dad was like, what? And we went to visit her, and she was fine. She was lonesome. She was only with us a short period of time, but they bond. That's the important thing, bonding, right? They bond to us. And after that, she was fine. She did her training, and she was great. So that's a strange thing. People try to do their own training, right? Sometimes they're not very good at it. Is this the problem with people?
Well, I've been having dogs that say, yeah, my dog can do this, can do that. And when I get the dog to work, and not do nothing.
Yeah, really. Isn't that helpful?
Right.
Yeah. No, it knows how to sit, right? So sitting and coming and staying. Those are real important things, aren't they?
Right. What I'm teaching is to sit, stay, down, come, heel, and place.
Place?
Mm-hmm. Place.
What is that? In Platz? That's a German command.
Well,
stay.
That's different.
Stay, not stay in your place.
Place is
a box.
A box that I have in my place where.
Oh, the box where they sit and wait.
Right, I tell them place, they jump on the box.
Okay, like the ice chest is
exactly
Chesney's place.
When we so I get the ice chest ready, I get the place ready, and when Lisa brings Chesney out, I don't even have to say place to him. He just automatically places.
Wow.
Yeah.
They know their routine.
Yep.
Do you ever go to dog shows? Because there's this wonderful thing. It's an obedience deal where there'll be like maybe 10 different dogs, and they're supposed to sit down and stay, and the owners go away. Owners are handlers, and those dogs are not supposed to move. And every now and then one dog will move, and the other dog is like, "Don't come near me. I don't want to get disqualified." I've seen that happen. Just don't get near me. And so, but then, if, I don't know, 5 minutes or something like that, and then the owners or handlers come back, and then they have the dogs lie down. They're supposed to do the same thing again, not move.
Right.
That's hard to teach, I would think. Is it? Well, you don't teach show dogs, but
right. But yeah, it's a little hard. But when you, like I say, when you do it once, twice, 3 times, it's done deal.
I'll tell you, this happened yesterday. We always get Chesney to stay when we're working with him, and we walk like around my truck where he can still see our feet. He knows we're there. But yesterday, I took him over to a side yard up beside my house, and I went out of his sight. Told him to stay, went out of his sight, went back in the carport, which is probably 15 yards, and then I just said, "Good boy," and he came right to me.
Wow.
So he stayed.
He stayed.
Yeah. Juan's incredible. Juan's incredible.
I mean, yeah, what?
I was in tandem with that. My female, who's about 5, she's a fox red lab, very well bred, sweetest, smiley facedest thing ever. She has a hard time staying. I didn't know if certain breeds were more difficult with staying, because the German short-haired, if you tell him to do something, he's doing it, and it's snap. The female, I don't know if it's because I let her get away with things maybe at times, but she's much more difficult. Every lab I've ever had, I have a harder time getting them to stay than do anything else, and I didn't know if that was common with them or what am I doing wrong, Juan?
Well, she needs to be trying.
Just keep trying.
Yep, I think that's right.
Just keep at her.
Keep
at her. But they're not any harder to train, are they necessarily labs?
No.
I guess they're like people, though. Some people learn stuff right away, and other people, you got to do it a few more times. They're not dumb. They just,
she's just always smiling at me, too, so I have a hard time being upset with her.
Yeah.
And I think, too, the thing about Juan is he sets the foundation, right? He builds the foundation. But as an owner, if you're not putting the studs up and building the walls,
you're wasting your money,
your money, everything, and wasted his talents. And
you work with whether mixed breeds or it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
To you, whatever they are.
All breeds and size.
Yeah. Oh, little. Have you ever done little tiny ones? Little ankle biters. You have done little ones.
I've been doing Yorkies.
Yeah. And the Great Dane, you showed me a picture of Great Dane. So you run the gamut of sizes, and each one is its own person, I guess you'd have to say.
Right, everybody has its own personalities, and we just got to learn from them.
Wow.
Before we run out of time, as a client, I've said this time and time again, it's the best thing you can do for yourself and your dog, is to have them trained professionally. If you're frustrated, you can't get them to do anything. Going away with him for a month was hard, but I promise you it's the best thing I've ever done for a puppy.
You never did that before, did you?
No.
Trainer. I never, in my life, he's just the German Shorthair. That was the only, that was that. My dad was a good trainer of like the English Springer Spaniel. Oh, God, he was really good with him.
Those are good dogs.
I would love to have those dogs, but I live at the reservoir and they're water dogs.
Yeah.
And I can't have that. Sorry, you can't go in the water because of the alligators. You can go in November, December, January, but no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
They're wonderful dogs. But so that's why I've had earth dogs. And this dog I have now, I think she's an earth dog. She does not have interest in the water, which is, thank God for that.
Chesney doesn't either. We have a swimming pool, and he couldn't care less.
That's a good thing, because it's not fair to get like a hunting dog and you can't hunt it or you don't hunt it or, exercise it that way.
Right.
I think that's unfair, and especially if it's a water dog and you can't go in the water, well, duh. So anyway, are there people who do that? I guess that they buy a dog and they say, well, I can't keep it out of the water.
Right.
Did they do stuff like that?
Well, I'm having people, like I said, that they want the dog to behave some way that they want, but it's not on on the dog's DNA.
Yeah, really. Yep. Yeah. So you have to. Is that a good idea, by the way, to get a DNA test? If you don't, like, I don't have a pedigree dog. Is it a good thing to do or is it just a curiosity thing?
Well, I guess it's like a curiosity thing, I think, because
I do too. Because we're waiting on Chesney's DNA to come back just because we want to know.
But
We just, it doesn't matter what it comes
Right.
back as, but I think it's just pure curiosity.
right.
You might explain if he does anything that's odd. Did Chesney do anything that was odd to where you would say, this dog, this, or here's what you should watch for? Do you advise people of that? Always watch for this or always watch for that?
I always see how he's behaving, and so they can pay a little attention when they take him back home and just keep an eye on him.
We got to get out of here, too. We got to go take care of our dogs.
Yeah, definitely.
I got to go run home and take care of my dog.
Well, thanks for having us.
Well,
Mary.
thanks for coming. Really fascinating.
Thank you, Miss Mary.
Might have to think about you, for what's her name? The little mutt puppy I have. All right, everybody, have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.